Okay, I think it's going. Hi, my name is Farhan, aka Collusive, aka DJ Phoenix. I've been asked to do a video blog, well, a blog. So I'm just going to record some video and I'm going to talk about DJing, which is what I do for most of my spare time. I'm just about to go out to a gig. Uh, Chances are I'm going to not record this until well, upload it until later. Uh, so, what do I need to tell you about DJing? Well, it's important, firstly, to have the right set of headphones. Uh, mine are mine are dual purpose because I produce and I DJ. So, at the moment, I'm using a pair of AI TMA ones. Um, these are fantastic. These are possibly the best headphones I have owned to date. I've gone through quite a few pairs. I've been through a pair of Beyerdynamic DTX 900s. I've been through a pair of JL headphones, the Alphorn series. So these are my third pair of headphones in about 4 years. Um, the purpose of DJing headphones is basically to be able to listen to what you're playing and listen to the track that you're about to queue up. Um, these are fantastic for that, just because the bass response is brilliant. Um, the design is fantastic. The reason that my first two pairs of headphones are no longer with me is because they both broke. One of them was because they snapped about here, and the other pair snapped, well, the same sort of place. If you take a look at both of them, you can see that the head strap attachments aren't exactly the most solid. And with this one, it's fantastic because lo and behold, they flex. And they are fantastic. It just means that I can have them on my head, I can switch them off to one side, I can tear them about, and they are stretchy and flexy, and they're brilliant. As you probably saw, the end is detachable, similar to Dre Beats, but I just prefer these again because of the sound. It's a much warmer and richer sound. Some people may argue that it's not quite right for production, but the response, although it is quite warm and very heavy, is still pretty flat. And using these as reference headphones, I know what other tracks sound like, so I know what my music should sound like. That's my theory behind it, anyway, and that's what I'm sticking to. Another advantage is that, well, even though this disconnects, it also comes with a second jack cable, which is 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch, with a volume control on it as well, and a pause slash phone answering with a little microphone as well. It's brilliant if I'm just sort of walking to uni or walking around town and I don't want to have to carry around a really long cable with one of these because it kind of gets everywhere. It gets tangled within my bag and on my jeans and all that sort of thing, so it's a bit of a nightmare. If you've ever owned headphones with leather or pleather inlay, you'll notice that bits start falling off after a little while, and it can get quite irritating when you're wearing a white t-shirt, you're DJing out in public, and you got bits of headphone falling onto your t-shirt. So to combat that, these earpieces are actually detachable and replaceable. I'll just show you that there, and they are fantastic. So all you have to do is literally just clip them straight on, or get a new set, and again just clip them on. The design of these is also really sort of retro, and substantially more comfortable than the other two pairs of headphones that I bought. I also like the fact that they're not as ostentatious as the Beats, as a lot of you probably won't like me saying, and I'm expecting quite a few negative comments about this. But yeah, it's a really simple design, and the functionality is unbelievable. And I will keep saying it again and again until everyone realizes this, but the sound quality is completely unmatched. And I mean completely unmatched. I've been through listening tests with stuff like the Sennheiser HD25 Mark IIs, the equivalent AKG headphones, the equivalent Shure headphones. Uh, I went through the Beyers as well, the DT100s. They're, I think, more booth based. Just my opinion, but yeah. Just apologies for the setting. This is where my studio is currently based. It's in a garage in the middle of nowhere, and the sound is fantastic. It really is. Um, so what else do I talk about? Yes, I'm going out DJing. Now, a lot of you may think that vinyl is the way to go, or CDs are the way to go. I have been turned to the digital dark side. So at the moment, I'm using a Pioneer DDJ-T1 controller with Traktor. The equivalent controller is available in two channels through Serato, which is the DDJ S1. I'm not going to do an in-depth test or anything like that. This is more a case of what I'm doing. And it's brilliant. I mean, if you take a look at it online, just go to Google Images, type in Pioneer DDJ-T1, and it will show you a couple of images. It just means that I can have 4 channels on the go at once. I can have a loop on one. I can be playing the vocal from another set on a loop as well. I can play the bass line from the third, and I can just have the fourth as a one-shot loop. So it just gives me the flexibility and the freedom to do what I want, really, while I'm playing live. I'm not going to call myself a controllerist, because what I do is nowhere near as advanced as people like Madian. But it brings a whole new level to DJing. It just means that even if you're using CDJ 2000s, you still have to scroll through all of your menus and sub-menus, and even typing stuff in is really difficult. Where with the T1 and my MacBook, it's one of the most simple things that I've ever done music-wise. I mean, using Logic and being certified and all of that is great, but being able to do it all live is unbelievable. It really is. And you've got 2 effects channels, one on either side. You can either have 3 effects per side, or you can just have 1 effect with controllable parameters. I usually go for the 3 each side, purely because I am very, very picky with my effects, and I like to throw as many effects into a track as I can. Some people say that less is more, but I firmly believe that more is more. I really enjoy giving people a show and letting people know that it's fine to be a DJ and just play from track to track. A lot of DJs do that, and due respect to you, I'm not gonna dispute that. But having the freedom to make every track your own in some way, shape, or form is kind of something that I'm completely taking advantage of, being able to play within DJ software. And it's always worth just trying it out, even if you're not sure that you're going to go for it. Try it out, see what you think. Don't have any sort of conflict in your mind about I'm going to stick to CDs or I'm going to stick to vinyl. Try something out in the digital domain, even if you're still using turntables, but using something like Traktor or Serato, or anything like that. It still gives you a level of control that you don't have just playing songs from vinyl or from CD. Even with something like the DJM 2000, where you've got all the controllable effects and parameters and the frequency mixer and stuff like that, it's still not quite as integrated as you'd like it to be. All your feedback and comments are more than welcome. I'd love to have discussions about this whole thing. But yeah, it's brilliant. The MacBook was half an aesthetic choice, but mostly just because of the speed that everything runs at. I've run stuff like Traktor off PCs, off Windows-based laptops, and there is definitely a lag. And you can feel it sort of 45 minutes to an hour into a set. So if you're just playing for half an hour, it's a guest set, or if you're playing for an hour, that's fine. It's not much of an issue there. But if you're playing for 4 or 5 hours straight, you need something that's more reliable. Some people will say, okay, you can pick up an equivalent Dell XPS for half the money or a quarter of the money or whatever. But how long is the XPS really going to last? Even if you look after it. Prime example, I've had my iMac for the last 4.5 years. I used to DJ with that for about a year and a half. And lugging that around was a massive pain, but I still preferred using that to using any sort of Windows-based laptop, just because of the speed that that thing can run at. I mean, it's only a basic last generation, well, previous generation 21-inch iMac. Um, but yeah, the speed that it carries all of the information at is incredible, and because everything's just being run through USB 2, it's nowhere near as fast as, say, for example, what I'm using now, which is USB 3 based. The firmware inside the T1 does accept USB 2 and USB 3, but the speed that you can get the 3 to work at just means that everything I'm doing in real time, if I'm controlling effect parameters in real time and I just want to have a stab of gator, or I want to throw some reverb into it last minute, I can do that and it will do it instantly right when I want it to. So there's the PC versus Mac debate that's always going to be around. I do have a lot of turntablist friends who swear by Windows computers, and fair play to them. You know, if it's a rig that you've been running for the last 5 years and it's reliable and you're used to it, then carry on. You know, when you've got, I don't know, a month free, try something out. If a friend of yours has got Serato and they've got a box, or they've got Traktor and they've got the box, as in the interface, take your vinyl down, take your turntables down, do a couple of mixes, find out how you will, just feel it, feel the mix, feel the integration of the hardware and the software. Don't be put off by the software interface. You don't have to look at that constantly. As soon as you've picked your tracks, your focus is still on your turntables and your mixer. So if you're a turntablist who likes to do a lot of scratching, yeah, do it. There are a couple of videos by Qbert and Shifty and huge turntablists like that, who are kind of gods and demigods within the turntable community, who have done tests with Serato and Traktor and compared the two. And they found that the response from vinyl, from pure vinyl, is almost identical to that emulated by these two bits of software. So why carry around crates and crates of vinyl when you could carry around something like this, which is a terabyte, which has a USB cable integrated, that you could literally just plug straight into your laptop, carry around with you wherever, and it means that you're not constricted by carrying around CDs or carrying around vinyl. Yeah, you can have your two control vinyls, and you can have your scratch vinyls, or alternatively, you could always just buy the scratch vinyl from somewhere like iTunes, or Beatport, or Reverb Nation, or wherever, and just use those. So drop that onto a deck. If you're using Traktor and you have 4 decks available, and you can take a third turntable with you, then just use it for scratching. Because why not? You know, you are a DJ. You are the creative base of any venue that you walk into. There's nothing wrong with, you know, going that one step further. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But like I was saying, something like this replaces those flight cases full of CDs and those crates full of vinyl and all the rest of it. And it's really not that big. I mean, I've got an iPhone as well. Just to give you a comparison, here's my iPhone, and here, well, it's the 3GS, and here's the external hard drive, the terabyte. That kind of puts it into perspective completely. A lot of you who DJ will know exactly what I'm talking about, because you do it. You know, even if you've got a 500 gig internal hard drive, if you want to take your tunes elsewhere and just, say for example, drop them onto a CDJ 2000 with a link, then you can do it. But why just constrict yourself? You know, I'm not going to say, okay, don't learn how to DJ with vinyl. I'm not going to say don't learn how to DJ with CDJs. I'm just saying try the digital thing out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's completely fair enough. But then, at least you can say, yeah, I've tried it. You know, it wasn't for me. I'm going to stop boring you. I have a gig to go to. But yeah, I will check back in with you guys when I'm done, and I'll let you know how everything went. Cheers.